Hi everyone, welcome to our second actually pop-up PD with myself, John, and over here with Greg. Greg, I'll give you a minute to introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Greg Kulick. I'm an educational advocate for Mote, and I'm super excited to join John on this little pop-up PD experience.
Awesome. So if you're on socials, particularly on Twitter, you would have seen that in the last couple of days we have shared some templates. Now those templates have largely been focused around different ways that teachers and students can use Mote for Google Slides. We're also, for all of the templates, we're providing videos that are living on our YouTube channel. So I'd encourage you after this to go over there and check them out. I'm going to hand over to Greg, who's going to talk us through the first of these templates, and we're going to think about student reflection and Mote. Over to you, Greg.
Thanks, John. So yeah, reflection is just such a powerful part of what students can do in class. So I wanted to build a resource for educators leveraging Mote to take advantage of student reflection and then figure out how audio can kind of break down the barrier for students expressing themselves. So there's a really helpful post up on the Mote blog that gives some context and background around the value and maybe any challenges around, high quality reflection. But what I really want to share is kind of the integration with super high quality thinking routines that are created and shared from Harvard's Project Zero and what that can look like with Mote. So on this post, and we'll share this on socials and make sure it's available to you as well, when we scroll all the way to the bottom, there's just a really simple little resource that's a set of Google Slides with just 2 thinking routines right now. And we can build that out and add more. But if we take something like I used to think, but now I think, and give that to students as an end of week or an end of lesson or an end of experience reflection, they can simply, by using Mote, tap on the Mote Chrome extension, record their first part to this thinking routine, and that gets dropped into the slide. They can record the second part, and that will get added. So it's just a really nice way to give students a structured framework to think about how their own thinking has shifted, and then a way to document that. And again, just removing any barriers around having them express their shift in thinking. So typing isn't the only entry point to do that kind of work. John, I'll hand it over back to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Greg, for that. So that was the first one that we're going to share today. So I'm going to also stay on the note of student reflection here, and I'm going to jump over to a daily journal. So this is something which is going to be focused largely on the elementary or the primary aged students. So we have it here. This is just set up as a regular Google slide deck, and I've just dropped into the chat that we're going to be sharing all of these links after the stream today. So if you want any of these, then they will all be there for you. So this is how it's set up. So it's a very simple Google slide deck. You can see that on the first slide, I would just go ahead as a student and I will add my name. I can then jump onto the second slide, and this is where the magic will happen. So I have my dots I can move to mark the day. So today is Friday, and I would then jump over here and I would type today's date in. So it is the 30th of April. And then I have some emojis that I can highlight again by moving a spot around. In the interest of time, I'm just going to go ahead and jump over to the audio. So if you haven't used Mote for slides before, the way that it works is you tap the Mote button, straight away it's going to record my voice, and it's then going to put that audio file right onto the slide deck. So here we go. So I've got my file here. When I've finished recording, I tap the button again. I can then go to insert, and I'd wait a few seconds, and what it's going to do is it's taking that file, it's going to share it to my Google Drive, and it's there. As you can see, it has now been pushed onto my slide deck. I can then move this over to a particular target, and if you notice, I've got exactly the same down here, same thing down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Just gives our learners something else to share that they're really excited about as they look forward to tomorrow. So that was template number 2. Greg, have you got something ready to go, ready to share?
Absolutely. Let's pull this next one up. So here we go. If you can push that, John, and we'll be ready to share. So one really powerful kind of framework that educators have been using in their classes for years is flipped instruction, or this flipped learning model. And what I recognize in, using that model myself when I was a history teacher is that sometimes I didn't have the time or the capacity to create my own instructional video. So let me show you what we have here. Hold on one second. My link isn't working. Give me 1 second, John. Let me pull my screen down and pull this up for us. Mote for flipped.
No problem.
Here we
It
go.
is more than worth the wait, Greg.
Hold on, we're almost there. We're almost there. Mote for flipped. Here we go. So here's what I recognize is that there's a challenge around the idea of educators creating their own video. So I put together a resource where we can start to get familiar with how audio, and specifically, obviously, Mote audio is going to allow us to create a richer kind of flipped learning experience. So here's a set of slides where, if you'll notice, we can, if I have a 4-part flipped learning experience and I'm going to use existing YouTube video, I can absolutely drop that existing YouTube video right into the template here. But here's where I think Mote can have a really powerful impact on the student experience at home and make sure that they can actually get something really valuable and meaningful out of watching that video, is that the teacher can add their own Mote audio in the first stop of this experience to build context. Explain exactly what the students are about to get into, and even just clarify, like, hey, you're about to watch a video from a different instructor. It's not me, but you can focus their attention on things they really need to pull out of that video. So they listen to the teacher, watch the video next, and then down here, you might even provide follow-up audio, for example. Like, hey, you just finished watching that 4 or 5 minute video clip, and then you might focus their attention again on what the critical concepts are that they need to pull out of it. If you wanted to add a layer, students could also contribute. So when the student is done watching, they might add on step number 4 over here, their own reflection, their own audio reflection to kind of stop and think about what they just watched. So I'm a huge fan of like building context for students before they're about to get into any flipped instruction. And Mote is a perfect fit to do that in a flipped learning environment. So that's it. That was idea number 3, right, John? And we're on to number 4.
Awesome. Yeah, that's it. We're we're definitely going at a fair pace.
Yeah.
So with all of these videos, guys, the idea is that we're going to be sharing ideas quickly. So if you want to come back, you can watch through the videos. If you've got any questions, please just post them into the comments. You can either tag Greg or myself, or, knowing how wonderful the Mote teachers community is, someone else will be able to chip in with an answer for you. So I'm going to jump over now to something slightly different, but still using Google Slides. And this is actually focused around Teacher Appreciation Week. So Teacher Appreciation Week, for those of you that that may not know, is actually next week. So we're really excited to be working with a teacher out on the east coast of the state, someone called Nick Ferroni, who's been a wonderful champion of all of the hard work that Teach's been doing over the past 14, 15 months. But obviously, all of the hard work that we know that Teach's been doing for years and years and decades before that. But we really wanted to make sure that we did our bit to try to make sure that it isn't going missed, but also to give students and parents and the wider school community the opportunity to be sharing a card with their teachers that was super easy, but also allowed them to be super personal. So this is our, we have 3 versions of this same card that we're going to be rotating, but this is like our V1. So essentially the way that it works is we have a 2-slide deck. The first slide gives very, very simple instructions. So let's say, for example, that a school leader sends it out to the parental community with the idea of encouraging parents to reach out to teachers. So step 1 is download Mote. Step 2 is to jump onto the second slide that I'll show you in a second, record your Mote and add any text that you might like to. And then very simply, step 3 is just to share that with a teacher. So this is how sample 1 of the card would look. So all I would do is I would just drop in here where it says click to add text, and no prizes for guessing, that is where I would click to add the first bit of text. I would then go ahead and maybe add a little bit of a note to the second part. But what we're really keen on doing, as we know, Mote is such a powerful tool for building relationships and really helping to make sure that all of that we're trying to share, be it in the classroom or outside of the classroom, the intricacies of our communication are understood as fully as is possible. So what I would do is I would say something like this. Hi, Mr. White. Can I just say you have been a wonderful teacher. You've inspired me every single lesson, and also you've been a great support for me for the last 14 months when I've been struggling a little bit with the time of lockdown. So just as we saw before in the other slide deck, I can now insert this. This would go onto my slide deck, abracadabra, there's lots of magic being worked in the background. And here we have it. So I can move this, I could drop it onto my little symbol there. This is now ready to share with my teacher. Just go up, click on the share, and then my teacher would get it. If you want this, just as I said before, we're going to be sharing all of our links as a comment to this post when we've finished. Okay, thank you.
All right, we are ready for concept number 5, share out number 5. And here we go. All right, this one I'm super excited about. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it kind of like levels up some creativity options for students. So I was actually, John and I were chatting about this. I was involved in a recent back and forth on socials with Eric Kurtz, who shares all sorts of valuable Google tips. And the question was posed by an educator about how can I kind of like level up students' stop motion animation creations. They're using Google Slides. And it struck me that Mote would be this super powerful tool to have students create narrated stop motion animations.
Surely that's not possible, Greg. That can't be possible using Google Slides and Mote.
Oh, 100%. Not only is it possible, but we can make narrated stop motions.
Oh, dear.
You caught me off guard there for a second. So, yeah, and we have this whole resource kind of built out for you from concept all the way to publishing with a video tutorial that's embedded. But the basic idea here is that you can take Google Slides and you can animate that whole process going slide by slide. And then what you're able to do is record some Mote audio, add that audio into the slide deck. And once it's published, the whole slide deck will transition through really quickly, just like a stop motion animation production. But here's the best part. You get to add your voice into the entire experience. So Will, do we have a second? Can I just demo what the final product looks like?
Please do. And also thank you for calling me Will.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's a compliment.
I'm going to chalk that up to early stages of transition. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me pull up stop motion with.
So all of the resources that we are sharing today, just as I said at the beginning, but if you've jumped to this part of the video, all of these resources, they're going to be available through our website, but they also have an accompanying video, which is on our YouTube.
All right, so now we're ready for the share. John, we are officially ready for the share.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, so as you can see here, and I'll just have this loop back one more time. Let me just refresh this. Here's my stop motion animation.
What's that thing? Oh, here it is. Oh, Mote rocks.
That's like Pixar.
I'm taking this thing with me. I'm out of here.
All right, I'm not claiming high quality animation capacity. What I am claiming is the ability to do that all inside of Google Slides. So slide by slide, duplicate, move your characters, record your voice, and that whole process is captured in a resource we have on the Mote blog, as well as that template. And John, I'm sure we're going to share these resources.
We are absolutely. Greg, would you mind just going back to the first slide just to show people how it is that you actually set up that the publishing to the web? Because I think that's such a powerful feature of slides that lots of people may not know about, but combining it with the audio is mind-blowing. Thank you.
Hold on one second. Let me pull that editable file. Okay, here we go. So, and you can notice here, like as I'm scrolling through, there's just slight movement on every slide. I do about 2 clicks of movement per slide for each little character. And if you'll notice on slide 1, there's my audio that I've recorded. To turn this into an animation, we go File, Publish to the Web. And there's a few little tweaks we have to do. Start slideshow as soon as it loads, because we don't want the end user to have to click through. We want it to play. Here's the URL for your animated slideshow, but we're not quite done yet. When you grab that URL, if you'll notice all the way on the back end, it says delay milliseconds 3000. That's a 3-second delay on the transition. So what I like to do is change that delay to say 200 instead. So when we paste this into our browser, just modify the URL slightly to 150, 200, 300, however you want the transition to kind of take place. What I do is I watch it through once and get the timing down of what I'd like to say through the animation. Then I'll record my voice with Mote, drop the audio file, One more little tweak. When you tap on the Mote audio, open up format options. And on the audio, say have it play back automatically and do not stop on slide change. This will be clicked off by default. So uncheck. So you don't want the audio to stop. You want the audio to play as each slide transitions, and you want it to play automatically. Once the audio is in there, your timing's good, the adjustments are good, go ahead and just grab the published link again, paste it into your browser, and then change that delay time to make sure it moves through pretty quickly. And there you'll have it. Pixar quality stop motion animation. And
That
Google
is amazing, Greg. That is amazing. And just seeing the way that you were explaining that at the end, and I know that that by default, when you drop an audio file onto your deck, is that it will stop when you skip to the next slide. But I think that it's so important to really open our ears to what other people are sharing on Twitter and other socials. And I think, hearing from someone like Eric Kurtz as well and taking that as an inspiration for creation of that has already got me thinking about how you could maybe even, you could sort of produce like a narrated slide deck where as long as you knew the timings, you could do like a sort of like a mini Petra Kucha. Have I got the name of that right?
Yes,
but rather than having like X minutes per slide, you could say, I'm giving my students a hard stop after 10 seconds on each slide. They could have that timed. Obviously, with our unlimited version, then they could record up to 9. They could record up to 9 slides worth, and that could be a really interesting experiment. So cool, Greg. Thank you so much for this. I think that's been wonderful. But we'll see in the comments if other people feel the same. And please stay tuned. Please encourage all of your teaching colleagues, your school leaders to join our group. We would love to have conversations with you all. As I say, if you've got questions about this, please just drop them into the chat and we would be delighted to help. Anything to add, Greg?
No, just a thanks, John. This was awesome. I look forward to the next live event.
Nice one. Okay, cheers, everyone. Bye for now.